New York on a chilly, dank day as the Oakland Raiders take on the Buffalo Bills. Hi again, everybody. I'm Kevin Harlan alongside Sam Weish. The Buffalo Bills come into today tied for first place in the AFC East with a good New England ball club.
Well, they're the only team playing outside the division, so with a win, Buffalo can gain at least on New England or Miami, who play each other. Indianapolis, New York, of course. Bruce Smith looking for a big day going up against Barry Sims. First time he's ever started in the NFL.
And as far as the Oakland Raiders, 2 up and 3 down coming into today. They're 3 losses, Sam, by a total of 8 points.
And the key word here from John Gruden is finish. Little details. They're really about 5 or 6 plays away from being 5-0 legitimately. They're a better than middle of the league team. Weather could be a factor before it's over.
Sam Weish, Kevin Harlan, Ralph Wilson Stadium, Orchard Park, New York. Newly renovated Ralph Wilson Stadium. 74,000 are here. Michael Husted has the ball teed up for the Raiders. Kevin Williams at the top of your screen, one of the great kick returners in the NFL, and we are underway in New York. Picked up at the 12-yard line by Williams. The ex-Dallas Cowboy and Arizona Cardinal weaves his way up to the 25-yard line where he is brought down by Randy Jordan. Well, Sam, Doug Flutie is coming off his best effort of the season last week in the 3-point win over the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Even Doug Flutie will admit to it. Completed his first 11 out of 12, came out of the box fast, and of course not only is he completing a lot of passes, he's a threat to run anytime things break down the field.
An incredible, as an NFL starter at home, 14-1 record.
He wins at home, let's just say that.
From the 25-yard line, 1st and 10. Right to work goes Flutie. With time, flings a pass. Intercepted by Darian Gordon at the 35-yard line. The ex-Denver Bronco picks off Flutie. That's the first interception in his last 75 pass attempts. And the first big break of the game goes to the Raiders.
And Doug Flutie is looking to throw the ball out in the flat to Peerless Price. He's got plenty of room and a good vision down the field. Lets the ball go. It looks like Price doesn't quite come out of the break cleanly. The ball's in the air. You can see a little bit of the water splashing. It has rained here today. They're going to have a little bit of footing problem as the day goes on, and we expect more rain during the game.
Darian Gordon, who had 2 interceptions in last year's Super Bowl, picks off his 3rd pass of the year. So Rich Gannon, the ex-Kansas City Chief, at the 31. 1st and 10, Tyrone Wheatley with the block from fullback John Ritchie plows ahead for a gain of 6. It'll be 2nd down and 4. 33-year-old Rich Gannon began the season with the boom, but has struggled the last game and a half.
He's actually given his team a few lectures, too, about the details and studying the game. Credits Paul Hackett, who he played for before he came to Oakland, is instilling that into him, that you've got to do the extra study, which he does, but he's got to perform on the field a little bit better to get them over the hump. They've been so close 3 out of 5 times.
Gannon is the 7th-rated quarterback in the NFL. 2nd down and 4 from the 25. The pitch out to Kaufman, a pulling block by Sims, and Napoleon Kaufman around the corner inside the Buffalo 15 to the 14-yard line. Gain of 11 and a 1st down. We talked about the pulling of left tackle Barry Sims. First NFL start today. Wisniewski, the All-Pro. Robbins, DiNapoli, and Lincoln Kennedy, former number 1 pick of the Atlanta Falcons. Kaufman with the 11-yard gain right there. The block by Ritchie. The great Tim Brown and James Jett, the wide receivers. Ricky Dudley is the tight end. Wheatley is back in. 1st down and 10 after the Gordon interception at the 14-yard line of Buffalo. Another block by Ritchie. Here goes Wheatley squirting inside the 9-yard line. Picks up perhaps 5 on the play against the number 1 rushing defense in the NFL of Buffalo. A 34 look. Ted Washington, the great nose tackle, flanked by Hansen on one side, and Bruce Smith has been All-Pro 11 times in his career. One of the best groups of linebackers in the NFL. Rodgers in northern outside, Holisek and Coward inside. And in the secondary, cornerbacks Irvin and Smith. Smith was torched last week by Troy Edwards of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Schultz and Henry Jones are the safeties. We have an injury timeout for the Buffalo Bills with no score. The injured Bill was Sam Rodgers. He'll be out. We really couldn't tell. We saw it on replay up here, but nothing really to show you folks. There was nothing obvious about the play, and so he leaves. And Brandenburg will come in. Dan is basically a special teamer and a spot defensive player.
Here you see Rodgers, number 59 right here. He's going to go down in the middle of the pile right there. Just gets his bell rung for just a second. Last week had his first interception of his career against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
And a Raider interception set up this great position. 2nd down and 5 from the 9. It's Wheatley again, charging down the middle, inside the 5, and close to a Raider first down, picking up 4. Holisek, the linebacker, makes the tackle.
And the Raiders have brought a man in motion to fake the reverse, but they're going right at Barry Sims and Steve Wisniewski, going right at Bruce Smith, the left side, which is an interesting start. Get the ball in the face of their new guy, Barry Sims, who's making his first ever NFL start.
Youngest coach in the NFL, 36 years of age. John Gruden, he's been in San Francisco, an assistant under Mike Holmgren, offensive coordinator of Philadelphia. 2nd year as the Raiders head coach. 3rd and 1. Zach Crockett is in with Ritchie. Just inside the 5 of Buffalo. It's Crockett who pile drives ahead for the first down to the Buffalo 2. 1st and goal to go, the Oakland Raiders.
The Raiders will use 2 and 3 tight ends a lot today. See the tight end in motion right there is Dudley. Ball going off the right side with Big John Ritchie as the lead blocker. Just movement by the offensive line of the Raiders.
5 consecutive runs by the Raiders against the #1 run defense orchestrated by Wade Phillips.
Well, they're the #1 run defense. On the other side of the ball, we'll see them in a minute. The Oakland Raiders have the #2 run defense when their defense on the field. Wade Phillips, though, one of the most likable guys in the game, has got his team playing hard.
2 tight ends, 1st and goal from the 3. It's Wheatley easily slicing his way into the end zone, but a flag is down at the 3-yard line. Tyrone Wheatley comes in with the NFL's 4th best rushing average.
Offside, 78, defense is declined. The touchdown is good.
That's Bruce Smith lined up right here. He's lined up in the neutral zone, and the ball is going to be snapped to see. Just moves early. Lines up real tight anyway. If he makes any movement at all, he gets into that neutral zone, but he's trying to make Barry Sims a little bit nervous with that inside move.
Michael Husted will try the extra point, hold by Leo Aragus. On a raw, windy day in New York, and it is 7-0 Raiders. They cash in on the Darian Gordon interception at the Buffalo 31. Handful of plays later, Wheatley plows in from 3 yards away. It's the Raiders by a touchdown. Buffalo Bills have gone over the falls in a barrel already, throwing an interception. Doug Flutie, a couple plays later, 6 to be exact, a Tyrone Wheatley touchdown run. It's 7-0 Raiders. Kevin Williams from the 11-yard line for the Buffalo Bills, finding a seam, and he's so good at it, and finally tackled by reserve tight end Jeremy Brigham. 19-yard return. Well, you come to Buffalo, and you know they've got great history, especially in this decade.
Well, they've got the 3rd best record in the 90s. Dallas, San Francisco ahead of them. Notice right there that 3 of the top 5 are AFC teams. 96 and 53 in the 90s for the Buffalo Bills. A lot of those are right here in this stadium. They are good at home.
With Marv Levy as the coach.
Marv gets credit for a lot of those, but Wade Phillips is picking it up right there.
On the 30-yard line, 1st down and 10 for the Bills. Down by a touchdown. The tight end Reemersma is in motion. And the handoff goes to Antoine Smith, the former #1 pick out of Houston. For a couple of yards, setting up 2nd down and long for the Bills. They have the 12th rated offense in the NFL. On the line, the veterans Fina, the All-Pro Reuben Brown, Ostrowski, Ziegler, and 2nd-year player Robert Hicks at the right tackle. We just saw Smith carry the ball. The blocking back is the Pro Bowler Sam Gash. Molds and Reed are the wide receivers, and Reemersma is the tight end. 2nd down and 9. They've taken out Smith and put in Jonathan Linton with the double tight end set. And Flutie dumps it off, screen pass, caught by Linton, who is the hero of last week, and corkscrews his way just back to the line of scrimmage. He had some late game carries that preserved a Buffalo win over Pittsburgh. The defense, 17th rated for the Raiders this year. Harris, the great Russell Maryland, Darrell Russell, Lance Johnstone on their line. Linebackers, Greg Biekert is flanked by K.D. Williams and Richard Harvey. And in the secondary, the Heisman Trophy winner Charles Woodson with Eric Allen on the other side. Hard-hitting safeties and Eric Turner along with Anthony Newman. 3rd down and 9 from the 31. Flutie from the shotgun moves up nicely. Good block by Ziegler, and a first down pass is caught by Kevin Williams, zigzagging his way to the 48. It's a gain of 17, his 8th catch of the season, and Flutie gets a completion.
Good protection. He's got a lot of people. These are tight ends in here blocking for him. Coming right across the middle now is going to be the receiver, Kevin Williams. Nobody was there. It was actually a man-to-man coverage that should have been covered man-to-man. Somebody dropped. There was probably a switch involved there at 5'9", 195. Good return man as well as receiver.
Williams played on those Dallas championship team for the Cowboys in this decade. 1st and 10 from the 47-yard line. Antoine Smith breaking a tackle of Turner. It's a foot race with Harvey. He's in for the Buffalo touchdown. Just did that, Sam, against the number 2 run defense in the NFL.
They're solid. They're going right up in here. They watch the blocking of Fina and Brown, and then, of course, the lead block by number 85, Jay Riesma. And then watch Eric Turner right there. He has no chance. Solid. Antoine Smith swapping off back and forth with Jonathan Linton. They're both fresh, as you can see there.
Steve Christie with the extra point. Doug Flutie atones for his interception, leading a nice drive. We're tied at 7. Former first-round pick Antoine Smith with his 2nd longest run of his career, 52 yards, a touchdown, which ties the game at 7 apiece here at Orchard Park, New York.
And good blocking out in front of him. I tell you, he has everything going for him. Remember, he's going against the 2nd-rated run defense. Didn't stop anybody there, but on the other hand, the Buffalo Bills didn't slow the Oakland Raiders down, and the Buffalo Bills are the number 1 defense against the run. So we may see a turnaround here. Both teams taking it right to the strength of their opponent.
Squib kick picked up by Ritchie, bobbled by Ritchie, then fallen upon at the 29-yard line by the Oakland Raiders, and so they cover it up right there, and falling upon it for Oakland was Darrell Ashmore, former Ram.
A lot of good blocks right here, but watch the block by Sam Gash on the linebacker as Antoine Smith hits the hole. Now the offensive linemen are doing their job. They're setting up right there. There's the hit. And a clean pass right on through. Now here's the hit on Turner, the safety. And now he just outruns the linebacker, Richard Harvey, to the end zone.
That's the longest run allowed by the Oakland defense this year. 52 yards there. Previous long was 15. On the 29, from the 29, 1st down and 10. And it goes off to Napoleon Kaufman, who only had 3 carries last week for 6 yards against the Broncos and picks up 4.
Bill Hansen makes the tackle on that one. Kaufman alternating at running back. Close losses on him. This is how close they are to being 5-0. Green Bay by 4 points. Seattle by a heartbreaker by only 1 point. And then last week, the Denver Broncos beat them by 3, and that game went back and forth the entire way.
Former quarterback at Dayton University was John Gruden. 2nd down and 6 from the 33. Jets is on the move. Gannon with some nice blocking, throws outside to the aforementioned Jet, and has the 1st down out at the 40-yard line and a gain of 7. Let's check in with Jim Nantz in New York. Thank you, Jim. New England is tied with Buffalo for 1st place. Here's a 1st down by the Raiders on the pass moments ago to Jet. And it's the high-stepping Tyrone Wheatley, the ex-Dolphin, banging his way up past the 47 for a gain of 7. He was drafted initially by the New York Giants, played 4 injury-plagued seasons there, then was traded to Jimmy Johnson in Miami, where he was waived in training camp, and the Raiders then gobbled him right up, and he's been great for Oakland so far.
Well, watch the block right in here. This is going to be a solid block. Now watch how much movement the Oakland Raiders get. Wheatley hitting the hole right there. John Gruden told us last week that he thinks that Jimmy Johnson's partly responsible for how well Wheatley's playing because he got him in real good shape, probably better than he's ever been.
2nd down and 3. Here comes Wheatley again. There goes a flag as Wheatley tries to pull the pile out near the 49-yard line. Wheatley was a high school legend in the state of Michigan, as Johnny Greer shows us. It's a penalty. Oh, they had offsetting penalties. Face mask by one, holding on the other.
Face mask, 56, defense. We got a first down.
First down.
Those are the kind of penalties that just happen in the pile when everybody's in there trying to make a tackle. If you get a running back that is powerful like Wheatley is, it takes more than one to bring him down. Of course, everybody's reaching in there trying to grab a hold of whatever they can find. And that's how that face mask happens. That one, of course, Sam Cowart involved with.
Jets and Colts battling at the Meadowlands. Jets a surprising 1-4. Tennessee's hot, first place in the Central at 4-1. Hoffman in the backfield, the fake handoff by Gannon. Look at the time, and he's right on the money to Tim Brown, who makes a catch for the 97th consecutive game, coming into today as the third best receiver this year in the NFL.
All right, watch right here. Tim Brown's going to come all the way across the field. Now, Gabe Northern is going to end up trying to cover him, number 99. Gabe Northern is part linebacker, part down lineman, and a rushing. This is all the way across the field for Tim Brown. This is a shallow cross. He wasn't the primary receiver. They were trying to go deep. Rich Gannon lays it off smartly, and there's no way that Gabe Northern's going to keep up with Tim Brown across the field.
Here come the Raiders again at the 20-yard line of Buffalo with the 1st and 10. The handoff goes to Kaufman, a block by Ritchie, a block by Jet, and Kaufman still on his feet, wiggling his way down to the 12-yard line with the pickup of 8, finally brought down by linebacker Sam Cowart of Buffalo.
Good blocking up front by the fullback, but watch the cutback right here, and then right at the end, watch Kaufman beat Kurt Schultz right there. See him make it miss. Paul Brown used to call that give it a leg and take it away. You stick that leg out there like it's an easy thing to tackle, and then you pull it away right when they arrive. Kaufman and Wheatley, what a pair the Oakland Raiders have.
We talk about a change of pace. Here's a 2nd down and 2. Wheatley with the block from Ritchie again. That time he stood up and brought down nicely on the play. Phil Hansen was there along with linebacker Joe Cummins, a loss of 1.
Buffalo Bills do a lot of substituting. They move people in and out. I asked Wade Phillips yesterday if this team, if he's ever had a team that's as deep on defense as this team. He thought for a long time trying to see if there was one, and he said, you know, probably not.
This team is drafted about as well, Sam, I think, as any team in the NFL, and John Butler, their GM, is the reason why.
Well, he does. He's one of the best in the business at selecting talent. But their linebacker corps, for example, they were all drafted players.
And that's as good a group as you're going to find. And they're all young. 3rd down and 3, 8th play of the Raider drive. The fake handoff by Gannon. Outside Ritchie. The fullback plowing his way down to the 4, and it's a first down again for the Raiders. A gain of 7 on 3rd and 3. 1st and goal to go, Oakland.
Those patterns are tough for defenses because a traditional blocker like John Ritchie, the fullback, is. Here he is. He's going to look like he's going to block. See him kind of hesitate? Then he just finds his way into the pattern, into the flat. He's not the primary receiver again. Rich Gannon is going to his alternate receivers very well. It's memorizing the progression. When number 1's not there, you go to your secondary, to your 3rd receiver, and on down the line.
Last week, Gannon threw to 11 different receivers, including himself.
He got one himself.
1st and goal. The fake handoff still, and it's a flag, and they roll the play dead in mid-motion. And some movement on the
number
part
65
of the Raiders.
Offense. Still first down.
Young Barry Sims making his first NFL start, a rookie free agent who played in NFL Europe this past spring.
Reason you have a mistake like that is Barry Sims had to cut off Bruce Smith. The ball was going to be run away from Barry Sims, going to the right side, and Smith was going to be coming down the line, so he tried to get the early jump, just got a little bit ahead of the snap count.
4.5 to play here in the 1st, tied at 7. 1st and goal from the 9. Sidearm pass to the end zone, incomplete, looking for Brown, covered on the play by Ken Irvin. It'll be 2nd down and goal.
That was a poorly thrown pass by Rich Gannon. You want to throw that ball up and away and have a jump ball or an over-the-shoulder type catch. Looked like he was falling away when he let it go. 1-on-1. Man-to-man coverage. Watch the release. See that little sidearm delivery right there? Get the ball up high. High trajectory, drop it in the end zone so there's a chance on the backside, not underneath. This one, the underthrown pass there is no good.
2nd and goal from the 9. 10th play of the Raider drive, which began back at the 29. Wheatley gets it, follows Ritchie, sidesteps one defender, and down he goes. Great defense by the Buffalo Bills, down at the 7-yard line. And tackled inside by Cummings along with Sam Cowart, the leading tackler on the Bills defense.
These are man-to-man blocking running games, but the linebackers, like Sam Cowart, we're looking at him right there, those guys will slide along the line. There are 4 linebackers in the scheme for Buffalo, only 3 down linemen. Gabe Northern kind of being a hybrid player there, but it allows those up front guys, starting with Ted Washington, to occupy the linemen. The linebackers make most of the tackles.
It'll be an empty backfield, 3rd and goal from the 7. Good time for Gannon. Got a block from Wisniewski to the end zone. It is incomplete. Ruled by the back judge to tight end Ricky Dudley. Incomplete pass. He must have trapped it.
The ball's a little bit underthrown. He was throwing back across his body. When you get that much time, watch his eyes. He's looking right, he's looking left. Now he moves up to the left and throws back to the right. See that sidearm kind of delivery? He really doesn't get enough juice on it. The ball bounces. Dudley should have had it, though. That ball was good enough to be thrown, but it's a dying pass. When the ball is fading like that, receivers should try to come up on it, not catching it quite that low. Keep the elbows in. If the elbows are in, that ball will crawl up your arms.
But he should have had it. Now they'll have to revert to a 25-yard field goal by Michael Husted, who comes as a big-time free agent from the Buccaneers. And the Raiders are back on top for Coach John Gruden. Dudley drops it in the end zone. Raiders have to settle for 3 and lead it 10-7. Sold out Ralph Wilson Stadium on that drive, which saw a 25-yard field goal by Husted, a 25-yard pass to Tim Brown, the big play, and the Raiders back on top. Talking there to Fred Biletnikoff, the all-time Raiders receiver, and the ensuing kickoff will drive Kevin Williams 5 yards deep in the end zone to an E. We'll see more of Doug Flutie, who's already thrown a pick today. His Bills trail by 3.5 to play in the first. A 3-yard touchdown run by Tyrone Wheatley, a 52-yard touchdown run by Antoine Smith, and a field goal of 25 yards by Michael Husted. 10-7, the Raiders late in the first quarter. On the 20-yard line, 1st and 10. Handoff goes to Smith, who tries to pile his way over to the 23-yard line. Gain of 2 on the play. 2nd down and 8. Rushing yards for both teams nearly identical. Remersma, the tight end, is on the move. Flutie hit as he throws down the sideline, and even a twirling attempt by the double-covered Eric Moulds couldn't get it, and K.D. Williams was all over Flutie.
K.D. Williams coming from here. He is right here. He's going to come from the backside of Flutie, who's going right now. 5 steps, plant, let it go. He gets it out of there right before the snap. On the last 2 plays, you've seen Jay Remersma go in motion. One time all the way across, the other time he started across and coming back. The reason for that is it's helping everybody, but in particular Doug Flutie, read the defense, tell whether it's man-to-man or zone, and also forcing that defense to make defensive calls and maybe make a mistake.
3rd down and 8 from the 22. Flutie with the blitz on from Walker, throws high and an uncatchable pass, aiming in the direction of Hall of Famer to be Andre Reed. So Flutie struggling on the first down attempt for Reed, and the Buffalo Bills have to punt once again. Flutie at 5'9", 175 pounds. And the comeback player of the year last year in the National Football League, and earned him a spot in the Pro Bowl in Hawaii.
Well, he earned everything that he got, deserved it, but at 5'9", you've got to move him around. You can't treat him like that 6'4" quarterback down the street. You got to move him in and out of that pocket and give him a lot of play action.
Horrible punt by Moore, landing at the 42, takes a great Buffalo bounce. Daryl Porter, the ex-Steeler, is down there and watches it die at the 18-yard line.
And that's the reason you try to field every punt.
60-yard punt by Moore. Last year, the Raiders came all the way to New York and lost to Flutie 44-21.
John Gruden said that he told his team, remember last year, now we came up here and they kicked our buttocks, as Forrest Gump might have said. And they did. It was a good hand to 44-21. And part of, each week you have to have a hook. The coach tries to say something fresh, give the team something to chew on that can get them up for the ball game. And getting beat the year before is one of the good ones. Players in this league are competitive and they don't like to have that memory.
Raiders have it again. They've moved the ball every time they've had it on offense today from the 18-yard line. First down and 10. And it's Wheatley with very little room to roam over the left side and makes maybe 4 yards on the play, setting up second down and 6.
You know, it doesn't look like he's got much room, but the lead block by John Ritchie, the movement by the offensive line, the whole left side. Again, they're running right at Barry Sims, who's starting his first game against Bruce. It happens to be against Bruce Smith. Steve Wisniewski, who's been around for a long time, 11 years, they're going right at him. Probably a little easier because those cutoff blocks are a little tougher with a quick guy like Smith.
Raiders trying to rediscover their running game. It was number 1 in the NFL a game and a half ago. Second down and 6 from the 22. Mickens on the move. A block by Sims. Outside it goes. Swing pass to Wheatley. Has the first down. A little showmanship up near the 39-yard line. Ken Irvin knocks him out of bounds. A gain of 17 to Tyrone Wheatley.
So he just slipped out of the backfield uncovered. That was man-to-man coverage on the Buffalo Bills side of the ball. Somebody dropped coverage thinking that he was going to go somewhere else.
Napoleon Kaufman is in now, and he gets the call on first down, trying to follow the block of Kennedy and has to go the other way before he is doused by Sam Cowart on a gain of 1. At one time, they were talking about perhaps even trading Napoleon Kaufman.
Well, I think all players get talked that way. You watch John Gruden calling the play. He covers his mouth because, believe me, they're up here with binoculars and they try to read the lips of the coach calling the play from the sideline. That sheet he's got in his hand there is the sideline sheet. It's got a copy of all the plays, both sides, probably 120, 130 football plays.
And he does call the plays.
He calls everything to the sideline, and of course it's going on the headset to the quarterback.
Second down 9. Nice block by Crockett. And that affords the quarterback in time to hit his wide receiver Tim Brown. And he's close to a first down, the 7-time Pro Bowler out of Notre Dame. And a Heisman winner himself at one time. He had a couple in this game. In fact, 3 of them.
3 of them if you count, of course, Doug Flutie on the other side of the ball. Shallow cross. This is a pattern that you'll see the Oakland Raiders run an awful lot of the time. You see Sam Rogers and Sam Cowart, both of them missing the tackle right there. Quick move by the elusive Tim Brown. A shallow cross is just a pattern that comes underneath everything else. You run parallel to the line of scrimmage. You sit down, and somebody cuts you off, just stop, square your shoulders. That's the body language you give the quarterback to let him know that you're not going to run anymore.
The ruling on the field is that the player was touched prior to the slide.
Oh, that cost him a couple of yards there.
It did. There's Tim Brown with about 715 receptions in his career.
So we can tell exactly when he's touched. Tim Brown, 81. Now, once he is touched, if that causes in any way for him to go down, that touch right there, they said, was the reason that he went down. So the knee just across the line, actually they gave him about a yard more, but they didn't give him the 3 yards more that he needed.
That's the end of the first quarter. Raiders got on the board first after an interception by Darian Gordon, a 3-yard touchdown run by Wheatley. It's 10-7. Kevin Harlan and Sam Weish back at Ralph Wilson Stadium, newly renovated Ralph Wilson Stadium. They've got new places for luxury boxes and seating, heated seats, in fact, in many parts of the stadium. We begin the second quarter with Oakland, 3rd and 1. And Zach Crockett, like a missile, flying near midfield. The ex-Indianapolis Colt and Jacksonville Jaguar is snuffed and has the first down while airborne.
I'll tell you what, the left side of the Oakland Raider line came off. Steve Wisniewski being the key one, created so much room. Watch the left side now, just this entire side of the ball. Watch the explosion, shoulders low. Now watch everybody going backwards. Here comes the ball carrier. Actually, if it wasn't for Sam Rogers closing tight from the outside, they might have picked up big yardage on that.
So a first down up to the 50-yard line for the Raiders, who lead by 3, and here comes the shifty Kaufman down to the 47 with a pickup of 3. We have 2 great running quarterbacks in this game today.
I think Gannon likes to run it just as much as Flutie. Flutie this year now, 191 yards, 121 or 22 for Rich Gannon. And as you look at it, Cordell Stewart, Blake, and Couch, all of those playing on teams without a winning record, so those quarterbacks are running for their lives, where these quarterbacks are actually part of that offense and making things happen.
Second down and 7 from the 47. Good time for Gannon. Moving out of that pocket, sidearm pass caught by the fullback Ritchie, who lumbers down to the 36 and a gain of 11. Tackled by Thomas Smith. Ritchie, a third-round pick out of Stanford. Before that, University of Michigan. And he's from Pennsylvania, where he was the best player in the state as a high school senior.
Now, coming out of the backfield is right in here is going to be John Ritchie. Look at the scramble. Plenty of time, of course, the protection. But this is Rich Gannon spending about 4 hours on Tuesday, his day off, studying film, knowing what's going to happen and who drops coverage and where that alternate receiver is going to come open.
And he's orchestrating another long drive. Here's the 8th play of it, and it's Wheatley again with a nice change of pace. And he rumbles to the 30-yard line on a pickup of 6. He's 2nd down and 4. Tackle made by Ken Irvin.
Actually, the ball ends up on the right side away from Bruce Smith, but it starts to the left. So the action is coming. There's no quick flow, and then Wheatley cuts back. Just like Kaufman, Wheatley really has the feel for that cutback run.
New England, the Jets, and New Orleans all with early leads. And Cleveland winless, leading first place Jacksonville. 2nd down and 4. Here's the 18th run by the Raiders today, broken free by Wheatley, who bulldozes his way to the 19. Another Raider first down, a pickup of 11.
This looks a lot like the touchdown run earlier. Now watch this block right there on the linebacker. This is John Ritchie. Ball's going deep. Right, bang, right there, off his feet, and then the cutback. Oakland has run the ball 18 times, thrown it only 8 times today, so they're featuring the run against the #1 run defensive team in the National Football League coming in today.
I know Giants fans can't believe what they're seeing in Wheatley. Here's a guy who was waived by Miami in camp, and here goes Wheatley again as he is to the 15-yard line, picking up 4 hard-earned yards. Gabe Northern with the tackle.
You know, they're running between the tackles, too, here. They're not trying to get outside. There's not any reverses, anything getting big chunks that way. They're going straight at the Buffalo Bills, and they're doing it. We'll remind everybody just one more time. Their left tackle, Mo Collins, is out, and they've got a guy, a free agent, in his first year from Utah. First game he's ever started the National Football League, number 65, Barry Sims.
And the Raiders keep gashing that side of the line. They like what they see.
Well, as long as you go right at him, there's no chase and there's no cutoff block, which is a little tougher.
2nd down, 6. Here goes Kaufman plunging near the 13-yard line. That was the 11th play of this drive. We have seen a lot of long drives today by the Oakland Raiders.
And they're doing it against a 3-4 defense. There aren't many teams that play the 34 defense. Pittsburgh still does it. That means 3 down linemen and 4 linebackers. So your blocking schemes are slightly different. You're getting a few more people that have to get up on linebackers because there's one more than normal. But they're not having any problem on the Oakland side of the ball doing it today.
So a robust running game by the Raiders. 3rd down and 5 from the 14 of Buffalo. And again, great time. That was deflected at the line of scrimmage. I don't know if it was Washington or Gabe Northern, but that ball lost its velocity at the line, and the Raiders will have to settle for 3.
You're going to see in motion right here, it's going to be Tim Brown. Number 28, Thomas Smith has covered him. Remember, we've been talking about him running shallow crosses, coming all the way across the field. This time he plants and then slides back to the outside. The ball gets tipped right about there. You can see that the ball changed direction, and that was, I think, Ted Washington.
Houston has already kicked the 25-yard field goal today. This will be from 32 yards away on the Aragoose hold. And the Adam True snap, and the kick is up and true. So the Raiders annex their lead here at sold-out Ralph Wilson Stadium in Buffalo. 10-14 to play before halftime. It's the Raiders by 6. On that drive of 13 plays by the Oakland Raiders, Tyrone Wheatley carving 26 yards out of his 5 carries and set up the 32-yard field goal by Michael Houston.
Just solid running. Can't emphasize enough that you're going right at the strength of both of these teams, and that's defensive run.
Evan Williams from the 10-yard line, 6th all-time in kickoff return yards, and he is devoured at the 20-yard line by Barton, the rookie linebacker, and Randy Jordan. Raiders look sharp. They lead it 13-7 here in Buffalo. With Sam Weish, Kevin Harlan, we're in Sam. one of the great new stadiums in the NFL. It's been renovated and it looks just terrific. We got a tour of it yesterday from the 22-yard line. First down and 10. Jonathan Linton is the back. Flutie goes to the air and goes deep, looking for Reed. What a catch! Then he dropped it as he went out of bounds on the spin, juggled it, incomplete pass at the Raider 47.
Gave Charles Woodson just a little stutter step. Starts down, then pauses, gives it that long stride like he's going to finish the route at about 12 yards. And the ball is just thrown up over the top. A little bit underthrown. And it looked like Andre Reed was going to come back and hold it long enough. But he's got to have possession and both feet in bounds. That is reviewable if they want to charge. See the little stutter step right there? That's what froze Charles Woodson, who is a terrific athlete. He did recover, but that's one really that Andre Reed doesn't drop very often.
Flutie is a meager 2 of 6, 17 yards. Second down and 10 from the 22. Got a nice block from Fina. Looking for Reed again. That may have ricocheted off the helmet of the defending cornerback Charles Woodson, the Heisman Trophy winner from Michigan. Much of the chagrin of Wade Phillips, the coach.
Well, what we're seeing is Charles Woodson one-on-one. They know they've got the single matchup, but watch Woodson look straight at Andre Reed. Now he turns back when he feels the ball there. And what he sees are two things. He sees the eyes of the receiver. They'll widen a little bit, and then he watches the fingers of the receiver. When the fingers start to spread, it means that the ball is about to arrive, and that's when that defender puts his hand right in the face of the wide receiver, Andre Reed.
Moulds and Reed have not caught a pass yet, either one of them.
Two good defensive corners out there, and Eric Allen and Charles Woodson doing the job.
Third down and 10 from the 22. Good time for Flutie. Swings a pass which is caught by Riemersma, the tight end, at the 36. It's a gain of 14 yards, and they like this big former Michigan quarterback, Jay Riemersma.
Doug Flutie thinks that he probably runs as easy to read a pattern and finds the hole as well as anybody's ever thrown to. And that's what Jay Riemersma does right here. As he turns inside, he sees Greg Biekert, the inside linebacker, waiting in the zone. He plants and slides back out into that throwing lane.
Riemersma taking the place of Lonnie Johnson, who now is with the Kansas City Chiefs, signed as a free agent this past offseason. From the 36, first down and 10. It goes to Antoine Smith, who already has a 52-yard touchdown gallop to his credit today, and picks up a yard right there, tackled by Lance Johnstone, the 51.
Watch what happens right here. Now the flagger's going to come in motion. When Andre Reed comes in motion, watch the safety come up. Here comes the see him come up. That's your run support. Everybody's up the field. You've got the outside linebacker cutting him off. You got everybody up there. They ran to the wrong side. They were ready for him.
John Gruden, whose dad was a one-time Notre Dame coach and now is a scout with the San Francisco 49ers. Second down and 10 here for the Bills from the 40 to the 36. Sidearm pass caught by Linton as Johnstone absolutely drilled Flutie. And a gain on the play of 6.
Reuben Brown's coming out. He's injured. Coming from the outside right here. Quick, that's Lance Johnstone, who's there right now. Reuben Brown, who has a hamstring, and we were told yesterday he's fine and tight, but if he has to get out into space, that's when he's really putting pressure on that hamstring. Immediately after that play, he raised his hand. Get me out of the game, I'm hurting.
So Jamie Nails comes in for the All-Pro Reuben Brown. Third down, a long 4.
Jamie Nails took all the snaps in practice this week, though, so he's ready.
And he's the strongest Bill. From the 41. Flutie throws, caught by Moulds. There goes a flag, and out of bounds. Gordon of the Raiders ushers last year's Pro Bowler and wide receiver for the AFC, Eric Moulds.
And Greg Biekert immediately was saying, hey, that's offensive pass interference. Eric Moulds on that little quick out pattern.
Pass interference. Number 80, offense. Still third down.
All right, now watch him right here. Here he is in the slot. He's going to break the outside. Let's see what he does before he breaks. All right, there. You can't do that. Now the fans are saying, yes, you can. So we have a little lack of communication here.
You've got 5 yards to do what you want to get done.
Yes. Well, you can't push away like that even within 5 yards. You can have incidental contact.
So back to the 31-yard line with the penalty. Third down and 14 for Flutie. Empty backfield. Good block by Fina. Here comes Russell. Here comes Johnstone. And pushed out of bounds was the quarterback, Flutie, who flings a pass down the sideline, incomplete. Travian Smith levels Flutie. No flag, and they got a punt.
Well, there were no reason there's no flag as he does it in the field of play. Here's Travian Smith right here. Now, watch him. He's going to be chasing Flutie late. He's coming out of the side. You'll see number 53 coming from right now. Flutie is still inbounds. There's the hit. He really didn't hit him. He just shoved him, and he let him know that he will be back.
Chris Moore will now punt. Darian Gordon is deep back at a 78-yard return last week in Oakland against Denver. Gets a block right there. Tries to swivel his way upfield and gets to the 30-yard line on a return of 8 after the 46-yard punt. The tackle made by Cummins. Still the Raiders, 13-7 here in Buffalo. We're back at Ralph Wilson Stadium where the Oakland Raiders lead the Buffalo Bills 13-7 with Sam Weish, Kevin Harlan. One of the interesting things about today's game, the length of the Oakland drive, and they got a young starting rookie free agent left tackle who's had a great day against the great Bruce Smith.
Well, we thought it was going to be a mismatch. Barry Sims against Bruce Smith. Bruce Smith has 3 tackles, but he's got no pressure and no sacks today, and Barry Sims is doing a terrific job on a future Hall of Famer.
They got Price in for Smith right now, and here's the pump fake for Gannon on 1st and 10. Flushed out of the pocket, chased by Sean Price, throws down the sideline, incomplete, and a late flag is thrown at the 34.
Rich Gannon wanted to throw a quick pass, a little hitch pattern, a little 5-step and stop pattern to the left, totally defensed by the Buffalo Bills, and then started to scramble to the right. Calling this one against Oakland, though. Let's see what Johnny Greer, the referee, has to say.
Ineligible pass receiver, downfield, number 72, offense, still first down.
That's Lincoln Kennedy downfield illegally.
First down and 15, back to the 25 for the Raiders, who lead it 13-7. The fake end around, and the handoff instead is sent up the middle, and Tyrone Wheatley is the carrier for 3 yards. Let's check in with our NFL Today studios and Jim Nance.
Second down, 12.
Thank you, Jim. Jets are coming off a loss Monday at home against Jacksonville, and the Jets come in at 1-4. Colts come in 2 up and 2 down.
I'll bet Bill Parcells never thought he'd be 3 deep at that quarterback spot.
Second down and 12. Again and again with time and blocking. Throws to the spinning and twirling Wheatley at the 32. Shy of the first down. He has to get out to the 40-yard line. Picks up 4 yards right there. And he was inhaled by Sam Cowart.
And he missed James Jett and Tim Brown, 2 wide open receivers down the field.
Folks, now you can relive each game from the NFL season. Get stats, photos, plus complete play-by-play drive charts of the 99 archive. Just click onto the NFL at cbs.sportsline.com. Smith is back in against the rookie free agent Sims. It's 3rd down and 7 to go from the 31. Gannon throws a pass, dropped by Tim Brown. Sliding amongst a thicket of Buffalo defenders, and the Oakland Raiders have got to punt the ball.
Brown's going to be coming right here and then back to the inside. Ball's going to be thrown just a little bit low. Still got to make that catch. Boy, we've seen earlier in the end zone, Ricky Dudley missed one that was maybe a little lower than that, and then Tim Brown missing that one. It's wet out there a little bit, but that has absolutely nothing to do with the reason for the drops.
First 3 and out for the Raiders, and here's Leo Araguz, who's had a very ordinary season, fielding a low snap and gets it high and hanging. Kevin Williams will wave it off. This will get a good Raider bounce. It's inside the 25, drifting to the 20-yard line, and then reeled in by Mickens. Araguz with a 48-yard boot, the former math teacher in the Bay Area. Timeout, it's the Raiders 13-7. Kevin Harlan and Sam Weish from Ralph Wilson Stadium in Orchard Park, New York. About a half-hour drive, 25-minute drive from downtown Buffalo, windy and raw. And the threat of rain is in the air, 75%. 5:12 to play before the half. From the 20-yard line, Buffalo has it, 1st down and 10, and trailing 13-7. Flutie had that one tipped by the leaping James Harris on the line, and why not? He used to play basketball at Temple for John Chaney, the former high school All-American quarterback from East St. Louis, Illinois.
Let's watch him right here. James Harris. And Flutie's going to make a token fake, and then he's looking down the field. Now watch the jump, the time. Almost. He can dunk it too, you know that?
You know he can. He gets high like a guy playing some defense in basketball.
Well, you can see him looking right by the blocker, Robert Hicks. He's looking right at the quarterback, and as he reaches back and starts his windup, he starts his jump. He's only thrown one ball to Eric Moles all day long.
Second down and 10. Down the sideline to Moles. What a catch down the sideline. He beat the veteran Eric Allen. He's got a first down. Moles last year caught the second most receiving yards in the NFL on a pickup of 33.
Well, this is Eric Allen covered one-on-one the same way that Andre Reed was going after Charles Woodson on the other side in the earlier series. Perfectly thrown pass, though, just over the top. Eric Moles. And this is a guy that goes downtown. He catches the ball for big chunks of yardage. Has 4 receptions coming into this game of 20 yards or more. And last year led the entire league with 22 receptions of 20 or more.
First down and 10 for the Bills, running their first play in Oakland territory today. And it goes to the second-round pick out of Tennessee, wide receiver Peerless Price. Drafted to eventually take the place of Andre Reed. And Reed has been a great mentor to Price.
No, America's with me hoping that Ray Romano solved his problem from last week.
I think he did. Second down and 10 from the 47. Good block by Fina, and the pass intercepted for a second time, this time by Eric Allen. He picked off Brian Creasy last week against Denver and Oakland, and he makes his second swipe of the year, the second time that Flutie has been intercepted today, and he was over there trying to make the tackle, and he got tangled up with some Raider officials and some of their sideline people. Second interception thrown by Flutie this afternoon.
Eric Allen, part of the pressure now is coming. This is the pressure coming from Gordon from here. The ball is thrown quickly. Eric Allen just anticipates everything, comes underneath. Right, look at the blocking down the field. Everybody becomes a blocker on the defensive side of the ball. Flutie makes the tackle, and then as he got up, there was a little something going on the sideline, and the Oakland Raiders don't need to be doing that right now. They're playing too well. They don't need to, A, fire the Buffalo Bills up, and 2, make a mistake like that when they had good field position.
We have a personal foul, unnecessary roughness on Oakland after the interception. We'll have first down and penalize 15 yards.
Much to the anger of John Gruden.
Ooh. Now let's see if we can catch it right here. That's Darian Gordon blocking on Flutie. Remember, he rushed Flutie to cause the early throw. Here's the tackle. It's down, and then it's after the tackle. That means after possession is changed, so Oakland retains the ball. That Flutie gets into it.
I couldn't see what happened. Eric Allen is playing today his 175th NFL game. He has started 174 of 175.
Good solid tackle by Flutie. We'll give him that. Now as he gets up, gets away, a little bit of shoving, goes against the Raiders.
Raiders have it from the 50. First and 10. They send Wheatley, who tries to backpedal his way for some yards, gaining 3. Second down and 7. Pat Williams makes the tackle.
Continuing their game plan of running left, right at Bruce Smith. And there's been good movement, good position. Not only by Barry Sims, who's starting, but Steve Wisniewski, I'll tell you, is playing a terrific ball game. He is coming off the ball. He's under the pads of the defender, and he's got a tough job along with Barrett Robbins and Gennaro DiNapoli, because they've got Ted Washington, who weighs somewhere under 400 pounds, but we're not going to guess how much.
I don't think much. Second down and 7. Crockett with the block for Gannon. He'll run. He's got to get to the 40-yard line. Being chased, and he slipped on the wet surface, and down he goes at the 41, about a yard shy, a gain of 6 when he needed 7. It'll bring up 3rd and 1.
You know, he really wasn't conceding the tackle. He did. He just slipped, but he slipped with his shoulders forward. He could have actually scrambled along there and tried to get that extra yard before he's touched, as Gabe Northern finally touches him. Now watch it. He's going to set up, and as he sets up, the protection is good. Good, solid. He steps up into the pocket, which is the way all quarterbacks are coached. Now watch him go down shoulders first, so he can get back up, or he can scramble. Nobody's touched him finally. You see 99 Gabe Northern in the play.
Third down and 1. The play clock ticking down, showing 2, showing 1. It's snapped, and there's the handoff going to Crockett. And a guy lost his helmet, and that was John Ritchie, the fullback. And look at the avalanche of Buffalo defenders knocking Crockett backwards, and that's been tough. And didn't we just see last week, 3rd and short, 4th and short last week for the Raiders in Oakland? They came up empty-handed.
John Gruden had some tough decisions to make. Didn't come up empty-handed every time, but in 2 of the crucial plays they did. This is what, from the Buffalo Bills standpoint, they needed. Their strength of their team, that big run defense, finally coming up.
We're in the 2-minute warning. Arlen Samwise here in Orchard Park, and John Gruden on 4th and 1 at the Buffalo 40 has decided to punt the ball.
He's doing the right thing. They're on the road. They have the lead. Let your defense, who's doing a fine job, giving up only 7 points to the Buffalo Bills, put them back on the field. Don't run the risk of giving them field position. You just gain field position on a turnover. Don't lose it.
Leo Aragoose, second consecutive 3 and out, so they can't cash in on the Eric Allen interception. High hanging punt, which looks like and will drift into the end zone. So back out to the 20, 41-yard punt by Aragoose.
Doug Flutie is probably as good as any quarterback ever playing at home. Has only lost 1 NFL game in his career. And going back to if you add the USFL as professional football, add them all up, he's only lost a handful of games at home.
Began as a 5th-string quarterback at Boston College, went on to win the Heisman Trophy in '84, then played for Donald Trump's USFL New Jersey Generals, a couple short breaks at New England and Chicago, 6-time MVP of the Canadian Football League, 3-time Grey Cup champion with 3 different teams. Now he's here as a Pro Bowler last year and a starter this year for the Buffalo Bills. On the 20, 1st and 10. Molds across the middle quickly. Tackled by Gordon. Close to a first down near the 30-yard line.
Barry Molds right here. He's going to be coming straight across the middle. It's Darian Gordon. Right, just giving him just enough cushion. That ball is caught and thrown. Flutie was in the shotgun that time. Unless you're in a bump and run, you're going to get that pass completed.
2nd down and 1. They did not get the first down. Here's the quarterback draw. Huge hole for Flutie. The number 1 rushing quarterback in the NFL. Calling the timeout. Burning the first for the Bills today. A gain of 15 yards. Tackle made by Eric Turner.
Doug Flutie wears a sliding pad on his left shin. As you watch him go down, he'll always slide on his left leg. Watch him. There's the left leg. He's got a nice little sliding pad. You can catch it there.
And a good game here. First place Buffalo. Down 13-7. On the Flutie 15-yard run, it's 1st and 10. Good block by Fina. Here comes Johnstone. The pass almost intercepted, incomplete. Off the fingertips of Darian Gordon. He was zeroing in on Molds. Incomplete. 2nd down and 10.
Good protection by the Buffalo Bill offensive line that time. Lance Johnstone is coming off the left side right here, but watch, the tackle is off the ball. Watch him. Johnstone is quick. Watch the hands. See the reach by number 77, Robert Hicks. Stay with him, coach. This guy can hold the ball a long time. But you talk about offensive linemen needing long arms so they can get out there and reach out, and they'll huck themselves back off the ball, as you see it right here. See him off the ball again on the left side.
2nd down 10. Here comes the blitz. They get the coverage. The pass from Flutie is caught by Andre Reed. His gain of 9 right there, and his first reception of the day, 18th of the season. Sunday, he will be in Canton.
And he is getting a little argument from Darian Gordon right now. He doesn't get Gordon's vote for the Canton Hall of Fame because he claims he's pushing off. Sideline of the Oakland Raiders a little bit upset. John Gruden a little bit upset all the way back to that penalty against Doug Flutie, called against the Raiders for roughing up Doug Flutie.
3rd down long, 1 from the 49. Flutie maneuvering around that pocket and throws, almost picked off by Eric Turner. Incomplete pass. Flutie has already thrown 2 interceptions today. Turner just about made it a 3rd.
You know, you can just, sometimes you can do too much. He's such a great improviser, but as he scrambles to the right here, and he's going down, just take your losses. But he makes things happen so often, I think he probably feels invincible, like he can do it at any time. Going to the right side. Now watch. Nobody on the other side of the ball but white jerseys. Watch the throw. This one should have been intercepted.
They're going to go for it on 4th and 1. What do you think? Or they were going to go for it. Now they've called the timeout.
My guess is they're going to try to draw them off sides if they line up in a regular T formation.
Oakland has called the timeout. They now have 2. 4th and a long one. They're going to go for it with under a minute to play, and a pass by Flutie ricochets off the palms of Andre Reed. The coverage by Woodson. And as the Buffalo coaches and Reed himself complain, there is no yellow, and it goes back to the Raiders in good field position.
Just a little hitch. He's going to plant and then try to come back. I'll just tell you, I don't understand that call right there. You got 1 yard to go. A lot of things can happen unless they feel like that Doug Flutie can scramble if everything's taken away down the field, that's enough of a weapon. It's tough to double team the wide receivers and keep up what they call a spy, or somebody who's going to basically cover the quarterback.
52 seconds now remaining for the Raiders. John Gruden leads at 13-7. You got pretty good field position. What do you call here?
Well, you just go to your street. You got a 2-minute offense. You go right to it. They've got a plan for this situation. They'll go to it real quick.
Play action. There's the pass low and almost picked off. He was trying to thread the pass to Wheatley. Pocket was crumbling. All kinds of defenders swarming around. 2nd down and 10.
You know, going back to the call by Wade Phillips, he told us yesterday that his dad, Bum Phillips, who of course is a legendary coach for the Houston Oilers, used to
and
give
New
him
Orleans
advice,
Saints.
and the New Orleans Saints, give him advice, and it was just pure common sense advice. You know, he didn't have a lot of big words and a lot of deep thought. Here's what common sense tells you to do, and I'm not sure common sense told him to throw the ball to the outside on 4th and 1 right there.
2nd down and 10 from the 48-yard line. 4 receivers platooned, and the pass, and a diving catch made by Tim Brown. A flag is thrown. As the play stands right now, Brown is at the 41. 41 seconds to play in the first half.
Both teams have 2 timeouts remaining, and this is going to be called against the Raiders for pushing off, and they've been complaining about the Buffalo Bills pushing off. Sometimes it backfires on you. Johnny Greer, one of the best officials out there, though.
Pass interference, 89, offense, still 2nd down.
4 penalties on Oakland, 3 on the offense today, as you see reserve wide receiver Rodney Williams. Inactive most of last year.
Bruce Smith coming off the left side. This is Barry Sims, and look at the little chip right there. They've helped Sims out a lot today. That time it was Zach Crockett, but the little chip block gives Smith one more guy he's got to avoid.
Smith only has 3 tackles today. 2nd down and 20 from the 39. He gets away from Sean Price, chased by Wiley, and scampers out of bounds near the 48-yard line. Marcellus Wiley was out on the heels of Rich Gannon, a guy who is from Los Angeles, heavily recruited by UCLA, but chose to play in the Ivy League at Columbia, where he was a tailback, if you can believe it, with that size, and a defensive end, and almost single-handedly turned around what was a woeful college football program at Columbia.
And John Hollisack was telling us yesterday, they give all these players when they come out of college something called a Wonderlic test. It's a 12-minute aptitude test. Marcellus Wiley scored higher than anybody else on this football team, and among the highest in the National Football League. And guess what, John Hollisack, who finished 2nd in that Wonderlic test.
I'm not working. The time will be kept on the field.
Time's on the field now. John Hollisack said, Marcellus Wiley is the smartest idiot I know. I think that's a put down, don't you? Certainly a backhanded compliment, we know that.
Yeah, he's a wily guy, is what Marcellus Wiley is.
Obviously pretty good with the book learning, though.
Yes. Stay in the Ivy League.
Columbia's a fine school. You've got to be pretty sharp to stick around that one for 4 years.
3rd and 11, Sam, from the 48. First time they've had 3rd and long today.
This is where the decision-making of Rich Gannon comes into play. Don't give away a field position with a cheap interception here.
Gannon with time. Got a block from Kennedy, chased by Wiley, who left, and that was a good fake and a nice seductive move by the quarterback, Gannon, who runs out of bounds, and Wiley was there just to make sure he indeed stepped on the chalk. And they can't do anything with 25 seconds to play, and so they will bring out Leo Aragus to punt it before halftime.
Gruden's not real happy, but seductive move. I love it when you talk that way.
Keep your distance, mister.
Eric Cruz doesn't have the great average, but he's very good at pinning the opponent back inside the 20-yard line. Kevin Williams back at the 10.
Off the side of his foot on the fly, Kevin Williams, and this guy can fly. He got a block, there goes a flag, and he's up the sideline with the kicker to beat. Aragoose is there and shoves him out of bounds. But a flag is down at the 32-yard line, and now we've got the kicker Aragoose and Marquise Walker and Calvin Branch all coming over to gang up on Kevin Williams.
They're going to call a penalty way back there, though. Henry Jones pushing from behind against Travian Smith. It's going to bring the ball way back. This will be against number 20, or against, number 24, Kurt Schultz.
Illegal blocking him back. Number 24 of the receiving team during the return. First down.
Kurt Schultz, a former 7th-round pick, and now a starter.
The very end of this football play after the Kevin Williams return, watch what happens. That's Aragoose, the punter.
He does need to let go.
Yeah.
When the guy was in the chalk, he should have let go.
Well,
but there was no flag thrown on this right here.
No, not yet. And if you're going to pick a fight, always pick it with a punter. It's kind of rule of thumb in the league.
Buffalo will just let it go with 6 seconds ticking off the clock. The Raiders came in as a desperate team, coming in at 2-3. The Buffalo Bills, 4 consecutive wins, tied for first place in the AFC East with New England. By the way, those 4 wins match what the Rams have in St. Louis as the only unbeaten team in the NFL. Any surprises, Sam White, in that first half?
Only surprise is the way that both these teams have run against the strong run defense of each.
Welcome back to capacity-filled Ralph Wilson Stadium. 13-7 the score. The Oakland Raiders on top. Kevin Harlan alongside Sam White. What stood out in that first half to you?
Well, the running game, the Buffalo Bills, the most they've given up in one game against the run is 109 yards. The Oakland Raiders already have 107 yards in the first half. Time of possession, of course, going again to the Oakland Raiders. And when you're controlling the ball, you're running the ball, I'm surprised the score isn't really any wider apart than it really is. Here's the first touchdown by the Oakland Raiders. Off the right side, and then the straight ahead power running of Tyrone Wheatley. That offensive line of the Raiders has done a terrific job in the first half, as really both sides have. And here's the touchdown run. Antoine Smith. Now watch the hit on Eric Turner right there, going straight down. That's picture perfect. That makes the highlight film for the Bills this year. All the way into the end zone, outrunning Richard Harvey to the red. And then a pair of field goals by Michael Husted, and we have what we have.
We begin the second half. The kickoff goes to Napoleon Kaufman. Inside the 5, and he's shifting his way out to the 27-yard line. Finally brought down by Antoine Winfield, their #1 pick out of Ohio State, and there you get a good look at Kaufman and Winfield. Winfield was the Jim Thorpe Award winner, number 26 for the Bills.
Raiders offense starting backed up a little bit in the first half. They ran 38 plays. 22 of those were in Buffalo territories. Field position being a big part of their lead. And of course, on defense, keeping the ball away from those 2 wide receivers, Moles and Reed.
And you just saw they're pretty potent, are these Raiders on offense to begin the second half. And here they go from the 28-yard line, 1st and 10, and Wheatley gets the initial call. And he's belted high and brought down by Bruce Smith. The gain of 6 and the 4th tackle made by Smith today.
And they continue to go off the right side away from Bruce Smith. Watch him come up the field now. He's reading the run down the other side. He makes the hit, but only after a gain of about 6.5, 7 yards. As you can see how tough it is, though, for anybody, whether he's a rookie or not, to cut Smith off. He's going to get there eventually.
2nd down and 4. Chased by Rodgers, the pass outside to Derek Walker, the tight end, who in his only catch this year caught a touchdown last week against the Denver Broncos and picks up a Raider first down. It's a gain of 10. Tackle made by Jones.
Well, when you're running between the tackles, just straight up the middle, this play is easily developed because you're faking that play, rolling out to the outside, The guy that's been blocking to the backside just chips and slides out into the flat. Easy throw, easy completion.
First catch by a Raider tight end today on the 44, 1st and 10. Gannon throws it again, caught by Tim Brown, another first down, and he was working on Irvin on the side. He's to the 41. It's a gain of 14 yards, and Tim Brown becomes the 16th NFL receiver with 10,000 yards in his career.
See the linebackers underneath. It was just a pure zone defense. Tim Brown just goes around, down about 12 to 14 yards, turns. Token fake, holds the linebackers or spreads them out just enough. 10,000 yards. 16 years. A lot of guys just can't stay around long enough to get it, much less be that productive each year.
On the 41 of the Buffalo Bills, Raiders have begun very strong. Detonating off the handoff is Tyrone Wheatley, and he's to the 34-yard line with a bruising gain of 7 yards on the play. Jones again, the strong safety with the tackle.
Watch the move. We're going to go all the way back into here. The offensive line of the Oakland Raiders are controlling. Look at the movement up on the linebackers. That was Ted Washington, really the pillar of their run defense, getting pushed 4 or 5 yards backwards by the interior of that Oakland offensive line.
2nd down, 3. It's Gannon with the block from Wheatley and a pass, which is caught on the side for the first time today by James Jett. A guy we know for the long pass routes that he catches, but he's worked with Fred Biletnikoff to work on those medium and short range routes, which should pay dividends, like right there.
Pretty good teacher, Fred Biletnikoff. Teaching guys to use that speed to push him off and then break it to the outside. New York Jets with their 3rd string quarterback in the lineup.
Ray Lucas.
That's right.
And New England was winning. And other scores. Cleveland still leading Jacksonville down in Florida. On the 23, 1st and 10. Here comes Wheatley, spinning, breaking tackles, running hard to the 17-yard line and a gain of 5. Schultz made the tackle again, as we mentioned before. He has the 4th best as Jones is down. He has the 4th best NFL average per carry at 4.5 a gallop.
He's got good vision, he's a power runner, and he still has speed.
Henry Jones, the down bill, and we'll take a timeout.
Charlie Joyner and Fred Biletnikoff talking before the ball game. Between the two of them, over 1,300 receptions, over 21,000 yards, and 141 touchdowns. Both of them in the Hall of Fame. 2 wide receiver coaches for these two teams.
2nd down and 4. Wheatley again, like a sledgehammer, taking it to the 15. Picks up 2, maybe 2.5. They got to get to the 13, so it'll be 3rd down. We'll call it 2. Bruce Smith, the tackle. Henry Jones, the safety, left the game, and in his place, Manny Martin, number 21, the guy who played most of his career in the Canadian Football League.
Here comes Henry Jones back in the ball game now.
4th time today, Sam. The Raiders in 4th and 1. Crockett has carried the 3 previous times, converting twice. 3rd down and 1. Crockett is in there. The fake to Crockett, and a first down run by Gannon, scampering to the 10-yard line. Great call. Jones back in, made the tackle.
And you could feel the entire Buffalo defense in what's called a pinch. They're coming down hard to the inside, and no one has contained. This man right here, Henry Jones, who just came to the ball game, should have had contained either he or number 59, Sam Rogers. But the terrific fake right up the chute on the short yardage situation, and they've been going up in here hard. Look at that, everybody firing out. Here's the contained man right there. Sam Rogers is the guy. Breaking contain, Rich Gannon gets what he needs and gets out of bounds.
From the 11, 1st down and 10. Raiders on top, 13-7 already. And again, it's Wheatley. Big hole, and he'll easily stride to the end zone. An 11-yard touchdown run.
Well, let me tell you, that's dominance by an offensive line against a strong, big defensive line. Ted Washington, look at him. Right there, just enough to keep him out of it. There's really nobody touching Tyrone Wheatley as he goes into the end zone. Ken Irvin, the final man that had a chance, but no chance. Just solid blocking up front. Everybody's getting cut off from the backside, and the problem that Buffalo's having, those linebackers aren't scraping into their gaps.
So Tyrone Wheatley gets his 2nd touchdown run of the day, and the ensuing extra point, and they blow that dead as the ball is in
Prior
mid-spin.
to the snap, false start, number 65, offense.
That's our boy.
Barry Sims, I'll tell you what, my hat's off to him, though. He's had a good ball game against the toughest of odds going against a player like Bruce Smith.
Taking the place of Mo Collins, who twisted a knee last week in the third play of the game against Denver. But you're right, he has come in, and really, here's a rookie free agent out of Utah with hardly any history, and sure enough, he plays in a big game well for the Raiders.
Well, he has a little bit of history now if you count the Scottish Claymores of the NFL Europe. That's just about it, though. Other than that,
where are they based? Where are the Scottish Claymores based?
Scotland, possibly?
Hey! Houston, they're in Edinburgh, Scotland.
Yeah.
What do you got? Of course.
It's close to Scotland.
2 touchdown runs by Wheatley. It's all Oakland 20-7. Wheatley was great on that drive. 5 carries, 33 yards for Coach John Gruden. And I really felt there was a desperation about the Raiders. Had they not played well today, their season was sinking quickly.
You know what jumps into my mind is the word finish. We heard John Gruden say it so much. Now they have a chance with a lead like this to see if they can finish this game off on the road.
Returned by Kevin Williams and brought down by Terry Nickens. Ex-Green Bay Packer, and Eric Turner is there as well.
Terry Nickens making a tackle.
Timeout. We're going to see Doug Flutie for the first time in the second half. It's all Oakland. 2 Wheatley touchdown runs, 2 field goals, and you see it, 27 the Raiders.
And you know the halftime adjustments or the tinkering they do in there showing up 4 times this year. The Raiders have scored on the opening drive of the second half. And I've told you this before, but when I played for George Allen, he used to think that was the most important drive of the game, was the first drive on either side of the ball starting the second half. Set the tone for the game.
Let's see how Doug Flutie and the Bills respond. The first place team in the East tied with New England coming into today, and the handoff is sent to Antoine Smith. Gain of 2. Second down and 8 upcoming. Second down along 7. Great block by Linton. Flutie then throws, incomplete. Hine really just threw it away. He had Reed in the vicinity, but the rush was oncoming, and he wisely threw it away.
Rush coming from James Harris that time. Talked about him earlier. Basketball player, former quarterback, pure athlete on that defensive line. And, of course, Willie Shaw puts athletes out there chasing the football. We asked some of the players what they liked about him. You know, the common sense things that we talked about Bum Phillips kind of apply to Willie Shaw. He says things that make sense. He doesn't beat around the bush. And when you have a guy that you respect like that, you believe in him and you play hard for him.
3rd and along 7 from the 30-yard line. Good time for Flutie. Now it comes on him, and down he goes. Sacked by Darrell Russell. The first today by the Raiders, who are 6th in the NFL in sacks. And Russell authors his second sack under the tutelage of Willie Shaw.
The left tackle, John Feenan, now right here. Watch right here. He's claiming that he got his face mask grabbed right there. Right there. He lets go of the block. I'm not sure that the face mask was grabbed, but that hand may have been right in the throat.
Chris Moore will punt. And this one is high and deep and retrieved back at the 32-yard line by Darian Gordon. Number 1 all-time in NFL return average. And he returns that one for 11 yards after the 48-yard boot by Chris Moore. A timeout, Raiders on top. They say the Falls are about a 30-minute drive from where we are right now.
Or about a 7-minute flight at 4,000 feet. My good friend Ken Mack and I flew over there on Friday.
From the 44, 1st and 10. Nice deceptive move by Gannon, who throws to James Jett, incomplete. And there was some traffic around Jett. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Well, you flew above the Falls, didn't you?
Yes, we did. I've got a twin Baron that Ken Mack and I flew in from New York. We got a chance to do it. Rich Gannon's got his dad flying in today from Philadelphia, watching the ball game and seeing a good football game.
And Rich says his dad doesn't go to many games.
No.
And hasn't gone to many games, which I didn't know what to read about.
Well, I think sometimes you just like to watch it on TV, and you know the pressure builds when your family's in the stands. You sometimes try to do things that aren't as good as when they're not there, and they know your support is there, though.
2nd down and 10. Handoff goes to Kaufman, squirting free and close to a first down to the 45. Phil Hansen makes the stop, lustily running through the porous defense of the Bills. Napoleon Kaufman.
You know, when you have the blocking is going to take place right here on the right side. Sometimes when you have a running game going like this, you argue that it's poor tackling. This is not poor tackling. This is just solid blocking. Look at that hole open up. When they finally get there, that time Phil Hansen, they're making the tackle. But the offensive line of the Raiders are dominating the Buffalo Bills right now.
Handoff with a gain of 1 on the play for Zach Crockett. Brought down by Cummings. Holisek, by the way, as I mentioned back in the first half, out for the game with a twisted knee.
John Gruden told us yesterday, you know, we're just going to keep playing football here. He compared it to fishing. Sometimes you don't bring back a tarpon. Sometimes you just bring back 2 or 3 bluegills. So those 2 or 3 yard gains are fine with him. He doesn't have to have those big chunks of yardage.
Go noodling. 2nd down and 9. Here comes Phil Hansen and Gabe Northern. And look at the elusive Gannon, who is finally doused at the 50. Hansen and Northern ganged up on him. That is the 2nd sack today by the Buffalo Bills.
And you never like to see your quarterback sacked, but the thing that Rich Gannon did well right here is he's being chased. Here's Hansen coming from that side. Gabe Northern gets 1 hand on him. Phil Hansen's going to finish him off right there. The smart thing that was done there, no late, foolish throw. Just tuck it, take your loss.
I'll tell you what, I'm a Gannon fan. I like him. I think it was a very wise acquisition for the Raiders. He's a very solid quarterback who can make things happen.
Well, he can make things happen running the ball, and things break down throwing the football as well.
And a flag was thrown, a timeout was called, and whistles were blown. There's a lot going on that.
Well, they're going to call an illegal procedure that the left tackle moved before the timeout was called.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 65, offense. Still 3rd down.
You're reading his mind.
Yeah. Well, I'm watching the game, you know what I mean? John Gruden right now, I think every little thing just burns him up. He wants the game to be called and played to perfection.
He has got as good a facial expression as any coach in any sport.
He's still becoming one of my favorites. I
like him.
He is so likable and so helpful to us before the ball game and so intense during the game.
And a good young coach. 3rd down and 20 from the 45. The pitch, a shovel pass, and it's caught by Kaufman, who is devoured at the 45. No place to run, no place to hide. Marcellus Wiley was all over him.
Well, he doesn't look like an idiot there. He looks pretty darn smart. That little shovel pass is designed to work only when your defensive end, Marcellus Wiley, comes hard up the field. That time he read it, closed quick on it. Those plays either work big or they don't work at all. That's why John Gruden's not that upset on that particular one.
Leo Araguz punted for a while in the World League before they changed over their name to the NFL Europe League, and he's a free agent, 96 seasons. 2nd time he's had to feel a low snap and does it well. And it's retrieved back at the 7-yard line by Kevin Williams. And then he rams his way into Marquise Walker and works to the 22-yard line. A return of 15 on the 47-yard punt by Araguz.
Getting physical out there, Kevin.
And there's a timeout with the Raiders leading 20-7. Well, it is cold up here in the winter, and things can happen, I'm sure, to your where you at.
Mom and Dad are so proud.
From the 22-yard line, it's 1st down and 10 yards to go. Flutie right to work. All over him was the linebacker, but the pass and a diving catch made by Kevin Williams on a gain of 13 yards. Tackle made by Darian Gordon. And there, was a rush right in Flutie's face.
Well, they're not getting the ball to their main receivers, Reed and Moles, but they're getting it here to Kevin Williams. Beautiful catch down the middle. Moles has only caught 2 passes. They've only thrown 4 his way. 7 have gone towards Reed, and he's only caught 1. Both those guys had 6 receptions a week ago, but they've been shut out virtually today.
On the 35, 1st down and 10. Bills trail 20-7. Jonathan Linton, the hero of last week, and a 3rd down back basically, although he's in a 1st down right there. He's taking the place of the injured Thurman Thomas. But it was this kid's performance last week which ate up the clock, got the 1st downs, and basically sealed a win against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And there's the injured Thomas.
Thomas, of course, had a checkup on Friday. The report was not good. He's going to be out another couple of weeks. He's got a bruised liver and contusion to his liver.
And kidney.
Well, both. Neither one's real good.
2nd down and 4. It's Linton again with the stutter step. He is 2 years out of North Carolina. And he just plows his way past midfield to the 48, a gain of 10. Allen and Gordon bring him down. This kid has been terrific this year.
Watch the left side right here, get movement. This changes around. You see the blitz coming from the backside, just enough to break to the outside. Now, Jonathan Linton, both hands on the ball, protecting it. At the end of the game last week, got on those crucial first downs, as you mentioned. Right now, with still over 4 minutes to go in the third quarter, there's plenty of time to get back and win this game from the Bills' side point of view by running the football.
First and 10 from the 48 of the Raiders. Flutie gets away from one oncoming defender. That's Katie Williams, and throws a pass to the tight end, Riemersma. And he's ushered out of bounds by Richard Harvey after getting a first down to the 37-yard line of Oakland.
Feel the crowd getting back into this one. Flutie has to scramble. That was not a timed throw by any means, but this is what Doug Flutie does so well. Make things happen. He's going to come back and scramble to the right. Riemersma lined up on the right side, breaks to the bench area. There's the throw. Watch what he does after that. Get to the sideline, get everything you can, and then don't take the hit. You can see the first down marker.
The numbers on Flutie and the 2 interceptions you see, both in the first half. First down and 10 from the Raider 37. It's Flutie again, trying to gash the middle. Almost intercepted by Eric Turner at the 18-yard line, and a pass intended for the tight end Riemersma. It would have been the third picked off Flutie today.
Jay Riemersma is a popular receiver. He's going to come up into the middle. The guy that gets this one is right here on the backside. That's Eric Turner. He's probably not even seen by Doug Flutie when he lets it go. He's coming out of nowhere. There comes the interception almost. Doug Flutie knows after he's let that one go that he's in a little bit of trouble. Don't catch it.
Let's see what Flutie's cooked up here on second down and 10 from the 37. And he'll call a timeout. He saw something he didn't like. And he burns the first Buffalo timeout of the first portion of the second half. Monday on CBS, why is a healthy guy like Raymond?
And around the league, look at all the star football players, key players on the team. Week 1, starting with Vinny Testaverde, then Jamal Anderson, Steve Young. Last week, we saw Shannon Sharp of the Denver Broncos, who'd already suffered so many injuries, along with the retirement of John Elway. But there are a lot of players around the league. But you know, you say it every year. Gee, this is unusual, but it's really not. Injuries happen in this game.
After the Buffalo timeout, second down and 10 from the 37. Oh, receiver move, Kevin Williams.
Kevin Williams wants to call on the defense. It won't happen.
Ball start, number 82, offense. Still second down.
And what brought him off the ball was Marquise Walker was about to blitz. And Kevin Williams was obviously going to try to get in his way to buy a little time for his quarterback, Doug Flutie, but the ball hadn't been snapped yet. It's an old rule. Shouldn't have missed that one.
So at the penalty, second down and 15. There's the penalty story today. Back at the 42-yard line. There's the pass, and he was trying to cultivate something with Andre Reed. It's incomplete. He had Gordon on him, and a linebacker, incomplete pass.
Well, he has Reed and Moles coming to the inside. He gets the inside position, but Charles Woodson is as good as anybody. You're looking right there at the very end, making sure that if the ball gets in, he's not going to make it. Andre Reed over the years, though, what a career. 3rd all-time in receptions, 5th in yards, and 6th in touchdown receptions.
Only 3 receivers in the history of the NFL have caught over 900 passes. Reed is one of them.
He along with Bruce Smith, of course, here for those Super Bowl years.
3rd and 15 going deep. He's got Moulds, and it's incomplete at the 5-yard line. Surrounded by 2 Raiders in the secondary, and the Raiders secondary today has played very well. It's been much maligned over the last couple weeks.
They're playing a zone here. He's going to split the seam right down the middle. Zone defense, you see Gordon settling right there, and then over the head. Throw just dies away at the very end. Doug Flutie thinks he might have one, and then realizes that ball didn't quite carry like it needed to.
Here's the punt by Chris Moore. Landing inside and caught wonderfully with the great special teams play by the first-round pick out of Ohio State, Antoine Winfield. A guy that John Cooper, the Buckeye coach, said is the best defensive back he has ever coached. He is part of the future in the Buffalo Bills secondary. Now the defense of the Buffalo Bills would like to go eye to eye with the Raider offense, but the Raider offense, Sam, has been mighty impressive in this game.
They've done it just about any way they wanted to, including running the ball, as we mentioned, from tackle to tackle, inside where you would think the strength of the Buffalo Bills is.
Bills have had a tough time inoculating themselves against what has been a good, solid Raider running game. And here comes Wheatley. Until that play right there, maybe they have found the potion. He's to the 3. No gain.
Well, the design of that defense, they're 3 down linemen. The middle guy, Ted Washington, number 92, is the big one. And then Bruce Smith and Phil Hansen come up on the shoulders of the offensive tackles. They're trying to occupy as many linemen as they can so that the linebackers, and there are 4 of them, can scrape into the hole and make the tackles. Linebackers make most of the tackles with the 3-4 defense.
Patriots on top of Miami. Marino is yanked early in the game. Jets on top of the Indy Colts. You see more scores. Second down. And they give it off to Kaufman in a 4. Swiveling his way and then finally grabbed by Ted Washington.
One of the few times we've seen them try to get outside. Containment was good, and they had to cut back up inside. Pittsburgh looks like come back against Cincinnati.
Look at St. Louis.
St. Louis, well, I assume everybody knows they're for real by now. They're the only undefeated team in the league.
And the Vikings going the other way.
Yep, Detroit, they have their moments. I tell you, that's a football team that's not too far away. Philadelphia surprising Chicago after Chicago's big win last week, but Philadelphia had that big win over Dallas, too.
Third down and 6 from the 7. It goes to Crockett. Tries to hurdle Smith, but can't get over him. The 11-time Pro Bowler Bruce Smith grabbing Crockett in mid-flight.
John Ritchie is going to try to make the hit. Watch him come to the field. There's the effort. He's down, but not out. He can tackle people on one knee.
Great defensive stand for the Buffalo Bills. And they have forced the Raiders and Leo Aragus to punt. 4th 3-and-out for Oakland today. Looks like maybe that defense of Buffalo beginning to strengthen as the game goes on.
As well as the special teams has. Let's see what happens here.
Aragus gets it high and hanging. And a fair catch is signaled for by Kevin Williams back at the 49. 40-yard punt out of his own end zone by Aragus.
St. Louis Rams are no surprise. 4-0, leading probably the favored San Francisco 49ers. George Seifert trying to rebuild the Carolina Panthers. And Mike Ditka had all his hopes on Williams, the rookie running back. He's been hurt all year long.
Carolina going to San Francisco today. Thus Seifert going back to a place where he coached for almost 2 decades.
There's probably not just some hellos and how you doing, but they want to beat each other pretty badly out there. Bruce Smith, who just made that last tackle on one knee. Actually, he was down, but just reached up with his arm and made the tackle. Looked like he may have injured himself.
Very good beginning field position. Here comes Linton, and he's brought down. Woodson got him. Beekert was there, and Lance Johnstone all combining a loss of 2. Great pursuit by the Raiders.
The Raiders defense tries to strip the ball every chance they can get. That time, Charles Woodson late on the hit. He wasn't the first guy in there, but the second guy in there goes for the football. Here's Charles Woodson right down here. Now watch him. He's going to be the second guy on the ball. Blocked for a moment. There's contact. Now here comes Woodson. Watch him go for the ball. See that strip? Trying to make a turnover happen.
Probably the final play of the 3rd quarter with Oakland leading 20-7. Second down and 12 from the Buffalo 49. Blocked by Fina, dumps it across the middle, and Flutie hits Linton to the 45 on a gain of 4, which will bring up 3rd and about 6 when we come back. That's the end of the 3rd quarter with the score. The Oakland Raiders 20, the Buffalo Bills 7. With Sam Leitch, Kevin Harlan, we're here in Orchard Park, New York. First place Buffalo. 4 consecutive wins is what they have notched since their opening season loss at Indianapolis. Trailing here as we start the 4th quarter, 20-7. 3rd and 6 from the Raider 45. Flutie trying to get him to get off sides. Quickly across the middle. Bobbled and reeled in by wide receiver Kevin Williams at the 40. Shy of a first down by about 1.5 yards. All right, you're down 27. What are you going to do here?
Well, I still think you punt the ball, but I'm not sure what they're going to decide. It's right in between. Your defense is still playing good football. You can put it back in their hands. But trailing by 13 points, you need 2 scores. You got 1 quarter to go. Going for it's not unwise either, and that's what Wade Phillips is going to do. You really don't go up there and try to draw them off sides in this situation. If you go to the line of scrimmage, you go for it.
4th down and 2. They've got to get inside the Raider 39. 3 receivers. Linton in the backfield.
Man-to-man coverage.
Flutie gets a block from Linton. The pass caught for a first down and more. Kevin Williams inside the 15-yard line to the Raider 11. Marquise Walker was there. The Raiders before last week had given up a lot of 3rd and long and 4th and long. They were pretty good last week, but today they give up one right there.
Well, you saw the motion going, and now coming back across is Kevin Williams. Marquise Walker's trying to cover man-to-man. The reason they knew it was man-to-man coverage, when Williams went in motion, Marquise Walker went all the way across with him. Everybody else was on the inside shoulder. Everything indicated man-to-man, and a perfect strike from Doug Flutie.
On the Raider 12, first down and 10. Flutie again to the air into the end zone for Moulds. Touchdown! The Buffalo Bills are back in business.
Eric Moulds, they haven't gone to him much, but when they have against Eric Allen, that's where they've made most of their hay. Beautiful throw over the top. The trajectory of the ball dropped it in just right. Doug Flutie in about a 3-step back pedal and then dropping it over the top. Eric Allen on that little step and go. It's tough with a ball thrown that well.
Christie with his 119th consecutive extra point. Touchdown pass by Flutie, his 7th of the year. A new game in Orchard Park. Back in Buffalo with Oakland on top with Sam Weitz. This is Kevin Harlan. Well, we have seen this before with the Oakland Raiders having a hard time holding on to 4th quarter leads.
Well, they've only got 3 losses. They were tied with Denver and lost the game. They were ahead of Green Bay and ahead of Seattle in the 4th quarter and lost both ball games. And here they are again. You know it's got to be haunting them in the back of their mind right now. Is it happening again?
Here's the kickoff picked up on the play by Kaufman. He jitterbugs a while and takes it up to the 33-yard line where he's brought down by Gabe Northern.
You know, I used to try to tell the team, and if you bring it up, you kind of introduce the thought, but you can't let what happened to you in the past affect how you're going to play that day or what you think is happening during the ball game. Every game's a little different, a different matchup, different combinations. But right now, the Raiders, who have played so well up to this point, can feel the Buffalo Bills just breathing down their neck.
Crockett and Ritchie in the backfield. It's from the 33-yard line, first down and 10. There goes a flag. They blow that one dead.
To the snap, ball start, number 82, offense. Still first down.
Sam, 7 Raider penalties today, 5 on the offense.
Well, the Raiders, over their history, have had problems with penalties, been blamed on discipline. I think this one's blamed, if anything, on aggressive play because they have played well. They haven't shown any lack of discipline. And this guy right here, I don't think, puts up with it anyway.
First and 15, pushed back to the 28-yard line of Oakland. Sidearm pass, that might be a flag, and sure enough it is on veteran Kurt Schultz. They were looking at fullback John Ritchie.
Pass interference, defense, first down.
Colts and Jets have just gotten tied early in the 4th quarter from the Meadowlands.
That penalty, of course, gave the Raiders an automatic first down to boot.
Powell from the 31st and 10. And that one's blown dead.
Ball start, number 76, offense. Still first down.
And Part of these penalties is illegal procedures is the crowd. The 12th man has entered the game. This crowd is packed, and they are excited about their Buffalo Bills. And they know the effect they can have on an offense trying to operate in this stadium.
First and 15 with the ball at the 25-yard line. Gannon hit, breaks away, and dives up to the 29-yard line, picking up perhaps 4. That'll be second down and 11.
They'll be showing some highlights from this ball game because this one is about as well played. Nobody's making big mistakes here. What you're seeing is good play outplayed by better play.
On the ball at the 29, where it's second down and 11 yards to go. Crockett is in the backfield. There's the pass by Gannon, caught by the 1992 Olympic gold medalist James Jett. A gain of 10, tackled by Thomas Smith.
James Jett, this is that shallow cross again. He's going to come all the way across the field. He's not the primary receiver. You can see he's being chased by Thomas Smith, but when you're running sideways like that, you can keep your spread, especially if you're at world-class speed like James Jett has.
He does have world-class speed, and West Virginia still holds 5 track and field records. And it is a rookie free agent. Third down and 1 from the 39. It's Crockett again. Third and short, again proving to be a problem for the Oakland Raiders. Trouble last week and trouble in the second half here today in Buffalo.
This is Pat Williams right here in the middle of the field. You can see both defensive linemen are pitching, but look at Williams. He gets penetration, shoulder on shoulder. And earlier in the ball game, that offensive line of the Raiders that was moving the Buffalo Bills backwards is not doing it.
Momentum clearly changing in this game. Aragu set the punt. Williams back at his own 20. Williams at the 17-yard line and then runs into his own player, Kurt Schultz, and the ball goes flying away. 44-yard punt.
Well, right now, John Gruden's got to come up with the right combination, something to spark his Oakland Raiders again.
Timeout on the field. Kevin Harlan, Sam White here at Orchard Park, New York, Ralph Wilson Stadium. Ralph Wilson, 81 years old today. Oakland on top, but the Bills have grabbed the momentum. On the 23-yard line, Flutie, first and 10. Jonathan Linton with the block from Jamie Nails. Linton galloping up to the 39-yard line. He did it last week. Anthony Newman makes the tackle, a gain of 16 yards.
And left guard, Jamie Nails, is trying to find right here. Watch him pull out. He's trying to find somebody to block, but everybody's getting handled by somebody else. Look at that great block from the outside by Kevin Williams. Nails finally gives one last shove, but there's really nobody to block.
He weighs 360, and when he gets on a talking scale, it says, come back when you're alone. He's so big. He's huge.
I'm telling him you said that.
It's okay. First down from the 38. Changing the play.
I don't think so. Identifying his protection. He's throwing the football.
And down the sideline for Moulds, right through his hands, incomplete pass. He had beaten Allen, and he had gotten the jump on Newman. And that probably is a pass you could have lassoed.
He should have made this catch. They've worked on Eric Allen a lot. Anthony Newman is trying to give help, but he's not there. This is a completed pass except for the catch. The ball cannot be put any better right there. Look at the elbows, though, are out. Receivers are taught, when you reach up like that and you extend your arms, try to keep your elbows in as much as you can, because the ball comes down your arm, then it rolls back down into your body, you can still make the catch.
That's a Pro Bowl receiver, too, dropping what looked to be a touchdown catch. Second down and 10 from the 38. 10 and a half to play. Quarterback draw for Flutie. Got a great block from Ostrowski, and he submarines his way head first to the 49. Close to a Buffalo first down. Marquise Walker makes the stop.
I don't know what more this guy can do. Marquise Walker finally makes a play. He is not going to concede the tackle and make the slide. Watch at the very end of this. Watch his shoulders being the lead. See that? He's going to get every yard of the run. If a quarterback or anybody concedes the tackle, the slide or however far they roll doesn't count. It's where they first touch the ground, unless, of course, you do what he just did. And there's his sliding pad on his left leg. When he does concede the tackle, he always goes down on that left leg.
Well, he got the first down on that slide, and the #1 rushing quarterback in the NFL, and a guy who continually is doubted by people around the NFL. In fact, the question coming into this year was, could he do it again? Wouldn't defensive coordinators around the league find a way to foil what he does so well?
Well, you know, he's stereotyped because he's not a tall quarterback. He's short by all standards, and they question everything from can he see over the line to can he grip the ball in the cold weather. We'll talk about that in a minute. He has no problem.
1st and 10, Linton drilled by Lance Johnstone, the former linebacker from Temple. Throws him for a 1-yard loss.
Just a straight, quick handoff coming off the right side right here. Man blocking. But nothing is going to happen because of the penetration. You see that? Number 51, Lance Johnstone, is the man coming up. Number 51, see him shoot the gap. He jumps down inside. Nobody can get a shoulder pad on him. That's part of defensive strategy. Don't always come at the opponent the same way. Slant in and out occasionally.
Johnstone with the sore shoulder. 2nd down and 11 from the 48. Blocked by Linton. Flutie now looking at his options. Here comes Johnstone again. One-on-one. Gets it off to the aforementioned Linton, who gets a block on the play from Hicks. And then penetrates Raider territory to the 49. James Harris makes the stop, and all that running around produces a meager gain of 3. New England holding on. They're tied with Buffalo coming into today for first place in the AFC East.
2 more Eastern Division opponents there. Indianapolis and the Jets battling it out.
Ray Lucas, the 3rd-string quarterback, starting for Rick Meyer today. New Orleans trying to get a win over Tennessee, first-place ball club, tied with Jacksonville at 4-1, and Jacksonville suddenly exploding on Cleveland.
Somebody gave him a couple of slaps across the face on that one. Wake up! And
3rd and 8. Bills have missed their last 5 on 3rd down. Wonderful time. The pass batted down and caught by the right tackle Hicks at the 45. Batted down by Tony Bryant, their rookie 2nd-round pick out of Florida State. The alert Hicks got it, but they're going to have to punt the ball.
That's a legal completion because the defense touched the ball. Hicks is right here. Now he's in protection. He's doing his job right here. The ball is going to be thrown. There's the bat down. Hicks spots it. The ever alert Robert Hicks, seeing his only opportunity to get into the reception list.
And a catch, the only one probably of his career. Here comes Chris Moore with the punt. And fair caught back at the 15-yard line. Here's an interesting thing for you Raider fans. Chris Moore is from the same high school in Thompson, Georgia, as former Raider punter Ray Guy. Timeout taken. Kevin Harlan, Sam Weich, Oakland leading first place, Buffalo 2014.
The defense of Buffalo trying to get the crowd in it, as they have been.
Oakland's last 2 possessions, 3 and out. Fake end around. The handoff goes to Tyrone Wheatley for a meager gain of 2.
If you're John Gruden right now, your team had a nice lead. It's starting to slip away. You go back to what was good to you early. See if it'll work again. He's calling the plays.
Timeouts remaining for each team. 3 for the Raiders and 2 for the Bills. Today Wheatley, 21-95.
They've been handing the ball to Wheatley and faking the reverse. At some point, you have to think they're going to hand the ball off on the reverse.
On the 17, 2nd down and 8. Good block, good catch. Twirling reception made by Derek Walker, the ex-Kansas City Chief and Charger, picking up 5. 3rd down and 3 from the 22. Crockett in the backfield. Gannon sets, fires. First down pass is caught by Terry Mickens, the ex-Green Bay Packer, as they reel off the field Eric Moulds. Mickens' first catch today. John Gruden was familiar with him because Mickens, who played at Green Bay, was there when Gruden was an assistant under Mike Holmgren.
Well, they're trying to find the right combination. We watched Eric Moulds go off. Looked like his left leg. That was the one they were giving support to. We'll find out what happened to him a little bit later. But if you're John Gruden right now, you go to the things that work best for you in practice, that you know the team has the most confidence in, because that's what they need. Regain the confidence of finishing this game on top.
On the 35, 1st and 10. Here comes Wheatley, brought down by Rodgers. Great defensive play by Sam Rodgers. Starter for his 3rd year, the former high school quarterback throws Wheatley for a loss of 2 on the play. Moulds has a hamstring injury, will not return, we're told, with the clock approaching 5 minutes left in the game. And the Oakland Raiders on top 20-14.
And possession, using that clock, the Raiders have to remember they still have the lead. Sometimes you get in a situation like this and you kind of feel like you're behind. The Raiders still hold a 6-point edge.
Second down and 12. Good block by Wheatley. The pass wide and uncatchable. Zeroing in on James Jett. I don't know if the pressure got to Gannon or what, but that ball is wide and incomplete.
I think the perception to Richard Gannon was that it was getting to it. John Gruden now on third down and long has to come up with a right call that gives protection. Let me start with that word, protection. I'm guessing the Buffalo Bills are coming hard at Rich Gannon right now. They know they've got to gain 12 yards. That takes a little time to develop. There'll be pressure coming hard at number 12.
Third down and 12 from the 33, and a pretty big play for both sides of the line here.
Here comes the blitz.
Picked up, Gannon throws, incomplete, and a flag is thrown. Henry Jones climbing on the back of tight end Ricky Dudley.
And a good call. Jones was all over Dudley and didn't have to be. The ball was thrown out in front.
Pass interference. Number 20, defense. First down.
You're talking about a Pro Bowler and a guy who started for 7 years in the secondary for the Bills.
He deserves that call right there. He was all over him, but he's going up against a 6'6" wide or tight end that can run like a wide receiver. The smart thing that the Oakland Raiders did was they went after the biggest target they had. They threw the ball quick, but inside where he can cover a lot of ground.
First down to the 46-yard line. Under 5 to play. And this is Wheatley. Brought down immediately. His 23rd carry. That is a career high. Washington makes the tackle. To New York and Jim Nance. Titans come in at 4-1, tied for Jacksonville with Jacksonville in the Central Division lead. Tennessee came into today with no turnovers over the last 2 games. Incredible. Second down and 8 from the 48. It's Kaufman trying to dance his way and only gets a yard. Bruce Smith made the tackle along with Phil Hansen.
Rich Gannon, with instructions from John Gruden as we look at him make the call from the sideline, has been told to use as much of that 40-second clock as you can. That time you snap the ball with 3 seconds to go. This drive started with 7 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the game. It's now 3 minutes and 40 seconds to go. If they can eat this one up, this will be a tremendous finish. The word John Gruden's driving home to his team.
3rd and 7. Crockett the lone back. 3 wide receivers deployed from the 49. The throw caught. James Jett swivels inside, gets the first down to the 41-yard line. He beat Ken Urban, a gain of 8. Huge play for Oakland.
Oakland expected the blitz. They got it. Here comes Jett to the inside. They went with the same kind of play. You see Tim Brown clearing the inside out. Ken Urban had 101 on the outside, number 27. The ball is just thrown quickly inside. The advantage of a play like that is it covers a lot of yardage up the field, but it still can be thrown quickly.
One of the things about the Raiders is they have a dazzling array of options. Jett just one of them.
Well, they've got plenty of weapons over there. Their running game has looked so impressive up until this 4th quarter. Now they're going with the passing game.
On the 42, first down and 10 in Buffalo territory. The pitch out to Kaufman, the pulling block by Sims. He breaks 1 tackle on the play of Cowart and is run out of bounds at the 28-yard line. In the previous 2 Raider possessions, 3 and out. This is a riveting drive by Oakland.
Watch the way this whole left side is sealed off. You're going to see Sam Cowart is the last guy. He can't quite get there. The only mistake that Napoleon Kaufman makes right there is going out of bounds. Cut back, take a dive, whatever you have to do, keep the clock running if you're an Oakland Raider player.
And hasn't that rushing game of Oakland flourished this afternoon?
Well, you know, at halftime we said that they had 107 yards. The most that the Bills had given up was 109. Right now they've got 183 yards on the ground.
First and 10, 10th play of the drive, and they try to whack it up the middle and gash the defense more, and Wheatley is called upon. and maybe got a yard on the play. So second down and long, 2.5 to play in the game. This has been a captivating drive by the Oakland Raiders, starting at their own 15 with 7.5 to play. Now second 9 with 2.5 to play from the Buffalo 25. And the handoff goes to Kaufman, breaking a tackle and slithering his way to the 15-yard line and close to a first down. A gain of 10, tackled by Schultz in the secondary.
Watch the right guard and the right tackle. Watch the movement they get. Number 86, Walker, is also probably as good a blocker as they have at the tight end position. And then the quick hit. Napoleon Kaufman hits the hole so quickly, he's right to the secondary. Kaufman, 11 carries today for 70 yards.
His best game of the season when they needed it most. This was a desperate Raider team coming in. At the 2-minute warning, the Raiders are that far away from another win. 2-minute warning from the 15, first and 10. It's Wheatley trying to throw his shoulder to the defense, and late flag is tossed at the 15-yard line. And again, this drive so unbelievably potent for the Raiders, starting at their own 15 with 7.5 minutes to play. That was the 12th play of the drive right there, but this flag is a hold against Oakland.
Oakland's controlled the ball over 38.5 minutes of this game, 19.5 for the Buffalo Bills.
Holding, 86, offense. Still first down.
It's Derek Walker, the tight end, holding. That one hurts, but they're still within field goal range. Their job right now is to stay in that 3-point range.
Good day for Wheatley, good day for Kaufman, and a good day for John Gruden so far.
The big part of this day is how he finishes it. Pittsburgh still holding on the lead to Cincinnati. Atlanta continues their troubles, but they're going against one of the hottest teams, probably the hottest team in football right now.
That kid was on the cover of SI this week, Kurt Warner, that former Arena League quarterback.
How many people voted for him to be on the cover when the season started, or knew who he was? Just came out of nowhere when Trent Green was injured.
Chicago was chipping away, I just saw in Philadelphia.
Chicago's played well. They've been in the ball games. Big win last week. Philadelphia, big game last week. Big win last week.
Dallas.
We look at those offensive linemen of the Oakland Raiders. Really, the game is handed over to the offensive linemen now. This is where the up-front guys win the ball game. Dominate the defensive line, keep getting positive yardage, use the 40-second clock, or force the Buffalo Bills to use their last timeout. They have only one remaining. This is big guys against big guys from here on out.
So it's second down and 9 from the 14-yard line. Blitz is on. Handoff goes to Crockett, and they stuff him. Bruce Smith jumped on him and brought him down with little gain, and Wade Phillips has decided to burn his last timeout. So they are out.
Number 3.
Bruce Smith just jumped straight down in the gap inside Barry Sims and got there before anybody could get a hold of him. John Gruden talking to Rich Gannon. I thought I saw a little smile there. Now, I don't want to tell on him, and I don't want to have to just, say anything. But this guy does not smile as a normal course during the game. That's more of the look we see from John Gruden.
The last year he goes 8-8. And the things that you notice about this team now, more discipline, and I think better utilization of what they've been able to bring in as free agents and draft choices.
Well, it's, instilling discipline from a young coach like he's only 36 years old. Doug Flutie's older than this guy is, but he has done it. He has convinced them that they can win, and they have to have discipline to win week in, week out.
3rd and 10 from the 15-yard line. Handoff again to Kaufman, trying to find some kind of crack to go through, and he can't. He gets down at about the 14-yard line. Remember now, Buffalo cannot stop the clock as it ticks down, and they trail 20-14.
Nothing wrong with that play. Now, Oakland's going to hold the clock, let it run all the way down to 39 seconds left on the 40-second clock, and then probably call timeout, let their field goal team come in without being hurried and kick a field goal that will put them up by 9 points.
Remember last week there was a lot of conjecture as to whether Gruden should try for 3 and tie the game against Denver or go ahead and try to punch it in. And he says, as a young coach, these are things that you kind of learn as you go along. And here is some strategy he is utilizing now against Wade Phillips.
Well, he's using the absolute correct strategy right now. Let the clock run out as far as he can, and then call timeout, what you don't want to do in a situation like this.
Timeout.
What you don't want to do in a situation like this is try to time your place kick team on the field and have them kick it without taking the timeout. You hurry them, you reduce the odds of them making the field goal.
What a treacherous schedule this Oakland team has had to go through, opening up against Green Bay, Minnesota, Chicago out there, at Seattle, Denver last week, first place Buffalo today, next week the Jets, then Miami. I mean, it is indeed the most difficult schedule in the NFL.
Well, they've got it. They've got an important kick right now, though, to polish off this part of their schedule. Michael Husted, a few weeks ago against Denver, had a chance with a 61-yard field goal. Felt like the officials got the new K-balls, the kicking balls, in a little bit late, and he didn't get a chance to set up. This time he's got plenty of chance to do it. Last week, Wade Phillips complained that maybe the balls weren't wiped off very good and they were a little slick. If they're slick today, it'll show up because the ground is still down.
32-yard try by Husted, who has knocked it in from 25 and 32 previously today. Aragus on the hold, Adam True on the snap, and he misses. So this one is not over. He misses with 59 seconds to play. So he cannot breathe easy. But there are no timeouts for the Buffalo Bills, and they will take over deep in their own zone. That would have iced it.
That would have been the end of the ball game for all practical purposes. Wade Phillips knew his only chance was either a miss or a blocked field goal. He's as excited as everybody else on that Bills field. And now here's the deal. No timeout, so you have to get out of bounds. If the clock is running and you make a first down, ground the ball. Buffalo will run to the line and just throw the ball straight down. That's not a intentional grounding. It's a legal way to stop the clock.
Buckle up from the 23. They've got it first down and 10. Reamersma is the tight end on the move, and here comes Doug Flutie. With time. And throws, caught by Linton, who quickly runs out of bounds at the 26-yard line. So he gains 3, second down and 7. 52 seconds to play, Buffalo out of timeouts, Oakland has 1.
Getting out of bounds. So the drill works, they practice this every week in practice. Darian Gordon that time almost made a crucial mistake because he shoved the receiver when he was really just at the out-of-bounds marker. You don't want to put the official into a decision-making. What was he in or out of bounds, and maybe give you 15 yards.
You see 81 in motion. That is Peerless Price taking the place of the injured Eric Moulds. Second down and 7. From the 27. Flutie again having a hard time finding anyone. Chased by Russell and Harris, and throws incomplete to Reed, who was blanketed on the side by Charles Woodson. 45 seconds to play.
The Oakland Raiders have chosen to bring 4 rushers and defend with 7 players. A lot of games going on in the defensive line. They're not going with that 3-man prevent defense. They're still putting pressure on Flutie. Willie Shaw is the guy that orchestrates that. Their job is to try to keep Flutie, what they call keep him in the well. Keep him down inside where he can't go to those outlet receivers, and his patented spin move. When he scrambles, Flutie usually spins to the left or spins out to the right.
3rd and 7 from the 27-yard line. More time for Flutie. Throws a pass, batted down at the line of scrimmage. The 3rd time the Raiders have batted down a pass of Flutie. The 2nd time by James Harris at 6'5".
Flutie has time to throw it. Here comes the pass across the middle. Well, watch Harris. He times it and knocks it down. That's a former basketball player knowing how to box out and get position. Here's the ball game. 4th down. They have to complete this one. Not only do they have to complete it, but they've got to get up and stop the clock if it's completed without going out of bounds.
Remember, first place might be on the line for the Buffalo Bills. 4th down and 7 from the 27. Flutie throws a pass. It's caught by the rookie Price to the Oakland Raiders 44-yard line. Tackled by Turner. Price with just his 5th catch of the year. A 29-yard grab.
They'll just spike the ball.
And a field goal does him no good. It'll be 2nd down and 10 with that spike. Flutie's upset because they kicked the ball.
Well, it was Jerry Ostrowski that actually kicked the ball. He tried to move it back and put the umpire has to spot the ball. The offensive lineman can't spot the ball. That cost him 2 or 3 seconds.
So it's at the 43-yard line, 21 seconds to play. They've platooned 4 receivers. 2nd down and 10. The spike was the first down. Great time again afforded Flutie. Throws a pass. Caught by Reed at the 29-yard line. Out of bounds. Gets the first down. Beats Charles Woodson. Gets 14 yards on the play. Joe Pendry there at the headset, the offensive coordinator. "15 seconds to go. The first place AFC East Buffalo Bills at the 29. They're out of timeouts.
Time for 2 more plays for Buffalo.
Flutie has thrown 2 interceptions so far. They got a first down here. Wonderful time. Here comes Maryland. A pass to the end zone, and it is caught, intercepted, but out of bounds by Eric Allen. So an incomplete pass. 8 seconds to go. Down by 6. Flutie might be down to his final play.
Now here's the deal. The offensive line, of course, giving Flutie plenty of time because this is one of those plays you let everybody run down there and try to put it in the corner just out of the end zone. Keep it inbound so they can make the jump ball catch. There's 8 seconds left. You go 2 ways here. Try to get one quick pass to the sideline to put you inside the 20 so that you've got a little bit shorter distance to go and put it in the end zone. Or you take your shot in the end zone, maybe end up with 1 or 2 seconds left after this.
Second down and 10 from the 29, and there goes Russell. Darrell Russell, the All-Pro from a season ago, jumping off sides.
That won't kill them. They've only got a play or 2 left.
10th penalty.
Encroachment. Defense. Number 96. Still second down.
Doug Flutie runs all the way to the sideline to talk to Joe Pendry. He sees something. He wanted to tell Joe, let's do whatever's coming up. We'll find out what it was right now.
Buffalo Bills took over at their own 23-yard line with 59 seconds left. Oakland came into today 2-3. Bills 4-1. Second down and 5 from the 23. Flutie, what might be the final play to the end zone? Almost picked off, incomplete, 2 seconds left. And now he's down to 3rd and 5. He was zeroing in on rookie Peerless Price.
The pass that they almost completed. Here's Price going to go right down the chute. They completed one like this last week. You're looking for the safety to vacate the middle, but as you can see, Anthony Newman is right there along with the corner.
And the much maligned Raiders secondary has played well this afternoon against Flutie.
They have, but they got one more play they have to play well or it won't count. 6-point difference, last play of the game.
4 receivers deployed from the Raider 24. Time is gone. The pass by Flutie. Intercepted for a 3rd time today. This is Eric Turner, and the Raiders have won at Buffalo. 3 interceptions for Doug Flutie. The Raiders romp on the #1 run defense for 195 yards. A terrific win for Oakland. They even their record at 3-3.
You saw Eric Turner. He's the second guy inside. He lays in the hole and makes the interception.
So John Gruden comes up with a huge win. They had lost leads in the second half to Green Bay and Seattle, but they held on today, and the Raiders, who take on the Jets next week, will bring a 3-up and 3-down record back to the West Coast. Our statistician today was Pat McGrath, our producer. Bob Dekas, our director, Dick Klein. Eric Turner with a wonderful interception to seal the Oakland win. For Sam White, Kevin Harlan, so long from Orchard Park, New York.